All right, I recently showed you all how to make this journal. This is made out of one single sheet of paper, but today I'm going to show you how I make this new style, which I've come to love. Look at this. It's still one paper. I mean, we use a secondary paper for the orange, but this is all done in one paper. All right, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a piece of paper. One piece of paper will do, preferably cardstock. This is, I think, 65. I'm going to make two journals, two different ways to show you how you can do it at home. You're going to need a pair of scissors. You don't really need this, but it'll help. If you have one of these doohickeys, it's much easier this way. I bought this at the Hobby Lobby and it came with this puncher and the bone, whatever it's called. I think it was $8 for the kit. And I'll show you what this does in a bit. And you're going to need glue. I prefer the purple glue. And your preferred tape. I really like hockey tape, but masking tape will do if you got masking tape, or even duct tape or electrical tape. Your choice. All right, for both different ways, I'm going to show you. You're going to need to fold the paper this way, the long way, hot dog style, I think they call it. Okay, you're going to fold it once this way. For this journal, you don't need to be precise. You can if you want to. If you have one of those fancy cutters, use it. Why not? Use whatever tools you got, but you're just going to want to cut down the middle. There's that way. If you don't want to cut it with scissors, you meet the corners, pinch the center, work your way outward. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it the other way around. It's uneven, but who cares? This journal is not meant to be nice and neat. I'm pretty sure if you take your time, you could make a nice and neat one. It's not necessary because the whole point of this journal is to, make a mess. And so here we are. We cut it that way. No scissors needed. All right. Using this board, I don't know what it's called. I think it's a score board. I don't know. It only goes up to 5.5 and 7. To make this journal, we're going to need to go 2.5. It's going to be 2.5 by 4.25. And we're going to go 2.5 here. And I'm going to score down the middle and fold. Flip it around. Score right in the middle again. And fold. Now this is going to get too thick to continue this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this one backwards so that I can get it to the edge here like this. Then holding it in place, I'm going to score again. So now we have this accordion-like, fold. And then lastly, we're going to bring it to those corners like that. And then score 2.5 right here and bend it backwards actually. Now you'll find that these folds are not tight. You could make them tight by just running the bone long ways. If you don't have that, you could just do it with the scissors like this. Okay, so you have your first one. And here is the second one. Make sure that it's aligned on vertical and horizontal. 2.5. So there's a marking here. You can't see it on the thing, but there's a marking here. 2, 2.25, 2.5. Go 2.5. And I just follow that line. And that becomes my crease. I'll flip it around, fold it. If you have the bigger board, which I'm considering getting, you could just do 2.5 all the way over and then crease. There you are. Folding. It's coming out a little crooked. I don't mind, but you can adjust it if you want. 2.5. Again, perfection is not the goal here because there's no such thing unless you take your time, in which case you could probably build this in an hour. This it shouldn't take me longer than maybe 20 minutes to build. There we go. Now I have 1 and I have 2. They're both exactly the same. And all we need to do is connect these two together so that this could be a page. And now we have the accordion. And how we're going to connect them together is by cutting off a piece from opposite end. Doesn't matter which one. We're going to cut both sides anyway. I like to place that back here and mark 1/2 inch. And I'm also going to mark a quarter. I'm going to cut at the half point. And I'm going to fold this just slightly. I'm not going to fold it all the way through yet. Well, actually fold it all the way through, but open it up. Open it. Okay, we're going to set that aside for a little bit. Then I'm going to take the other end. I'm not going to do exactly the same, but I am going to cut off a 1/2 inch. there it is, 1/2 inch. And now the goal is to have these two go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, okay? Connect these two on this side. So if you want, you could do it exactly like I did just now, where I'm going up, down, and at the end it meets down, or you can flip them over, and wherever they point up at the end, that's where they're going to meet. So I'm going to glue this section right here to join them together. I'm using this as a joint. Okay, so just to give me an idea, make sure that I don't glue the wrong side. I'm gonna glue these like this, so this one's gonna go here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the pause button right there, man. I realized while I was editing this video that I did this the hard way, so here's the easy way with the dog barking in the background. You're gonna set up your pieces of paper to go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? That's how you know that you're doing this the right way. You're gonna take these papers and flip them over and join these two. Okay, set them slightly to the side for a bit. You're gonna bring that extra piece of paper that you cut, and rather than doing it like a dummy, like I just did previously, and glue each one separately, we're gonna glue them together. Much faster. I don't know what I was thinking. Not doing it this way the first time, but you know, whatevers. I'm gonna fold it just a little bit. Bring these two corners together. Make sure that they meet. Then I'm going to bring this in and join them. Now they're glued together. The other process took about 2 minutes, maybe a minute and a half to 2 minutes. This took what? 20 seconds. There it is. It's glued. All right, continue. That glue could be a little messy, but who cares? Don't worry about that. I want you to be relaxed, go easy. Be a kid again. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exact. The point is to have fun. So have fun. All right, now I'm going to show you what to do if you don't have one of these. And I'm still going to take my two sides, my two sheets of paper. I'm going to grab my ruler. I'm going to put this corner at 0. Bring a pencil. Mark at 2.5. Bring it on this side and mark at 2.5. Then I'm going to take my pencil and make a line, because that's where I have to fold. And then I fold. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll take my pencil and very lightly follow that line and then fold. Okay, there it is. Take the pencil, make a line, follow that line, take the pencil, follow that line, and crease back. Now I'm creasing not exactly on that line, I'm creasing just before the line, right? Just as best as I can. I can take my scissors, go the other way. And now I have the same. I'm going to do the same here again in case you missed it. Put it at 0 here. Mark 2.5. Bring it down here. Align it to 0 again. Mark it at 2.5. Bring my ruler and connect those two. Now I have my 2.5 line. This I will fold right on the line because that's exact. Here, when I mark, I'm marking outside of this line. So I'm just a little bit over. So when I fold just under it. Okay, there it is. Turn it around. Mark my line. And make sure that this aligns. Last time. There it is. Okay, yeah, but you might say, okay, Leo, but you cut a 1/2 inch on the last one. Yeah, we did. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to measure just a 1/2 inch up there. We're going to mark a 1/2 inch down here. And I didn't name this in the beginning, but you can also bring in your scalpel, press it up against that ruler, watch your fingers, and cut. And now you have your 1/2 inch. Now the tricky part is going to be folding this one in half without using the score. Just very lightly fold it. Doesn't have to be perfect, I don't think. There it is. Meet these corners. Bam, there it is. It's not perfect, but it's folded. That's all that matters. Cool. So we have this side. And now let's cut off 1/2 inch on this side. We don't need that piece, so we can throw it away. Remember, we're going to lay it on the table and make sure that it goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? If you get this where it's like up, down, up, but it's this and you don't get it down, then it's backwards, okay? And then we flip both of them together because now we know we need to join these together. So I'm going to hold them together here like this and bring my extra piece and place it just on top, just like that. So I know which side goes where. Press them together and voila. You have joined pieces. If you're iffy about how strong this is, you could take a piece of tape and just go add a tape on top of that, or one on the inside, or both. Your choice. I will add a piece of tape here in the inside just to reinforce it on both sides because it's glued on the other side, but it may not be on this side. So I'll just lay it flat, place this right in the middle. And remember, we're not looking for perfection, so it's okay if it looks, if it looks this way, if it has a piece of tape. It adds character to the whole project anyway. There you go. Now it's reinforced on both sides. I'm going to set this one aside, bring the yellow one back in, and I'm going to tape the inside here too. Here we go, right in the center. There we go. Now we have this. This is practically our book. All we need to do is add the covers. All right, now for the cover, what you could do is you could take any piece of cardboard that's just thicker than your piece of paper. Like, for example, from your favorite snack. This is from Ezekiel's Snack. Or, at the bottom of soda cans, sometimes they have this extra piece of cardboard that looks like this. And you can use this because it's a little harder. It'll take a beating if it's in your pocket, your purse, or pouch, whatever you carry. Or you could take your favorite drinks and make backings out of that. Today we're going to make one from this Liquid Death cardboard box. And we might be able to get a few actually out of these. And what's cool is you could take your favorite cookies, your favorite, pancake mix box, sodas, whatever you have, and just make covers out of it. I'll show you how. We're going to need a size that is just slightly bigger than this, slightly. We're going to pick a spot, probably here, like this. And we're going to take our pencil and we're going to mark around this board. And now we have a marking. I'm going to cut just slightly outside of that because I need this to be bigger than this, just slightly. I was supposed to cut slightly outside of it. I think I'm cutting like right on it, but it's all right. We're going to be okay. So here we are. The cover of our first book. Just slightly bigger. I love it. So we're going to take this and we're going to lather it up with some glue. And then we're going to take this part, lay it flat, and then bring it in. Make sure that it's aligned here. Almost to the edge, but not quite. And then press. See how easy that is? Looks like it's cut like a little wobbly, but it doesn't matter. The back is going to be this nutrition, whatever the heck it's called. All right, so we're going to line that up. We're going to go and mark it this way. And then cut. There is a mosquito in here that's trying to eat me. Probably already got me. I didn't even notice. All right, and we're going to do the same thing we did earlier. We're going to make sure that it's not going to be upside down. This in the front, this in the back. We got to make sure that it's it lays that way, okay? Bring my glue. I'm doing it kind of carelessly here. I could probably be gluing the other side. And we're almost there. Look at that. We got ourselves a book. Oh, there's 2 mosquitoes in here now. They're really going to try to eat me up. Bam. And bam. Now I noticed that here, the bottom one is a little longer. No worries. What we could do is we could take our scissors or our X-Acto knife, totally up to you, and just cut barely outside of that. So that sticks out just a tiny little bit. You know, you can adjust it as you go along. All right. Now, to reinforce this, we could add a piece of tape, or we could add another piece of paper. For this one, we're going to add some tape, just to kind of reinforce that, make sure that this doesn't lift. Feel free to make it messy, man. Who cares, bro? Like, who cares? Just make it yours. This is yours. The rules are, there are no rules. I never understood that. Isn't that a rule? One more. And notice I'm turning it because this is not straight. This is straight. So I can put it right at the edge there. And voila. See that there? What I did with the other ones, by the way, is I cut another piece of paper, this orange paper, and then I just glued it on top. See, you could see the yellow sheet there, and glued the whole thing. So now I can write on it. I guess that's one way of making it neat. This is another way of just making it, you know, rugged. But like this one, I really didn't care how this one looked. It's got tape everywhere, and I love it. And so this book is practically done. Look at that. Really neat, huh? But I want to add a pocket so that I can store pieces of paper. For that, we are going to need to cut an extra piece of paper here. You could take another sheet like this and cut out a piece from this, or you can go over to like your dollar store and see if they have these. These are postcards. This was like $1 for all of these, and they come in all these colors. Let's just try to match it, just for the sake of keeping this one neat. It's not the same yellow, but it is close. I'm gonna bring my board back in here. I need 4 1/4. So I'm gonna mark and cut out that extra piece of paper. There it is. And then I need 2 1/2. And now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to turn this into a pocket by taping the back side and these sides so that the pocket can lay flat in here. But check this out. Remember this in the beginning? This actually cuts out corners. Let me show you with the scrap piece of paper. It'll cut out a corner and make it round. But if you turn it around, it has this other part. It's called a notch. If I place it flat up against like this and then punch, it'll create this groove. See, so easy to grab pieces of paper or anything you might want to grab from your pocket. Here, I will just notch it. It's off center, but again, who cares? I don't. Also, if you're working on the pockets and you don't have that tool, you can always just take your scissors and cut literally any shape, a triangle, a half circle, you know, whatever you want. Make sure that I have my front and that it folds this way to this part so that my pocket could be on the right side. If you're left-handed, you could do the same thing, but just reverse it and have your pocket in here like this, okay? Heck, it doesn't even have to be there. It could be right in the beginning or right at the end of it or at the other side. Wherever you want to place that pocket, you can put as many pockets as you want. Just repeat this process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this here just like that. I'm going to grab a piece of paper, of tape, not too long, just a small piece of paper so I can just as a placeholder, hold it there. This next part is a little tricky, okay? So pay attention, because if you don't, you're going to have to redo this part. You're going to stand it up. You're going to want to tape this side of the pocket and the back side of the other side. Make sure that it's not like this, or you'll tape these two panels together and then you might have an accidental pocket in the back. Place your tape on this side of the pocket, half of the tape on this side, and then just fold over, turn it around and repeat. Small piece of tape, half of the tape on this side of the pocket, and the other half on the other side. You could take your time and make it neat if you want. I don't care about that. And then I'm just going to repeat until I have tape all along that side of the pocket so that none of the papers fall out of the back. Not that they will, but you know. You can make it neat, make it messy. You can pre-cut and then, you know, cut the edges off. It's totally up to you. You can go over, you can go over the paper and then just cut so that you have one strip. I like this messy look, and I'll have a pocket on the side here. See? And now this one's going to be a little bit of a weird fold because that tape just added, I think I have 2 pieces of tape here. Just double reinforce that side. And there it is. Now the only thing that's left to do is to reinforce the back. If you wanted to add a little bit of extra reinforcement to the back of this, you could tape it. I could use this tape, but I prefer this hockey tape because the hockey tape is more of like a cloth material. It's pretty cool. I like that. So here's what I meant earlier. What you'll do is you'll tape half of it and go over, and then you'll take your scissors or your cutting tool and just cut. Just cut there like that to make it neat. If you want to make it neat, there it is. You see, nice and neat, nice and taped neatly. Or you could just say, who gives a hoot, and cut it however you want. There it is. Fold, and boom, there you go. You have yourself some reinforced covers. There's your notebook with the pocket. What do you do with the pocket? Here's what I do. I'll take scrap pieces of paper like this. You know, I can measure it if I wanted to, and I'll cut these into strips. And then I'll put them in my pocket here. And then when I'm out and about and I want to write something on my journal, I can either write here, or I could take one of these extra strips, make the note, and then glue it. This one where I'm documenting things about human beings, and I'm just taking pieces of paper and I am gluing them afterwards. And what I learned is that I'll go eat someplace, right? And they give you these paper bags. If you're eating and you're inspired to write something, you could just take a little piece of paper like this, write your note, and then glue it, right? Or I could take this piece of paper now and save it. In case I'm inspired later, I can write it in a brown piece of paper or a white piece of paper. Like this here. And just stick it in there. Whatever type of paper you want. No limits. No limits to this. Have fun with it. If you make yours, please tag me on Instagram. I want to see what yours look like and what kind of stuff you're putting in it. Have fun with it.